Okay, so today we're gonna do some therapy ball work. And actually I want to start standing because I want to start with our feet. So you want to come to standing. You want to get all your layers off if you've got them. And you want to take the therapy balls out of the tote. And I always like to do one ball for one foot, one ball for the other. That way I know that they're like wearing evenly. So you don't want to end up with like one super soft one and one not super soft one. So we are going to, I'm going to sit down for a second and put my foot over my shoulder so you can see what I'm talking about. We're going to be striping down the center line of the foot, down the outer line of the foot, and the inner line of the foot. And then we're also going to be working right in the kidney point. So if you think toes, ball of the foot, so fleshy bit, arch, we're going to be right behind the fleshy bit, right in front of the arch. That's kidney point, so that can be very tender. It'll be right in the middle, and then we're just going to move all the way to the back, and right where we've got the fleshy part of the heel and then the arch, we're going to go right in between the two of those in that same point. So we're going to be doing striping 3 different places and then holding in 2 different places. Okay, so you're just going to bring the ball under the foot. So if the foot is on the foot is on the ball. All right, hang on. English is going to work for me. Give me 2 seconds. All right, left foot is what you're standing on. Right foot is on the ball. Got it. Okay, starting in the middle, you have all of your weight in the left foot and you're going to lean into the right foot. So the more you lean, the more pressure you're putting into the ball, the deeper this is going to become. So you're going to lean into it and kind of roll the foot away like you're kneading dough. And then when you get to your max, you just retract yourself back, rewind, do the same thing. Push and roll. And retract. So if there's any place along here that feels like, oh, that's an interesting spot, then you're going to stop and just take a couple deep breaths there. And you might get some adjustments through the foot. That's always nice. And then you're going to move to the outer arch, so right where the pinky toe is. And we'll do the same thing through that side of the foot. And then you're going to roll over to the big toe and do that inner arch. Okay, so then you're going to put your heel on the ground, put the ball right at the front of the arch behind the ball of the foot, right in the center. Heel is on the floor, and then you're just going to step your weight into the ball, and your left foot is there to support you. And again, you decide your own adventure here. So the more weight you put in the ball, the more sensitivity you're going to have, the more sensation you're going to have. You want to really relax the feet. Just let them droop over the ball. And this can be quite intense. Then stepping back. You're going to move the ball to the space right between the arch and the heel, right in the center. So kind of like a high heel. The ball, the foot, and the toes come down onto the mat. And then again, you step up into the ball. Left foot is supporting you in your balancing act here. And you're just resting your weight into that therapy ball. And again, this can be quite intense, so you might need to back out a little bit. And backing out, rolling, or just going to stripe right up the center line of the foot. You can kind of roll at will here. So do some outer, do some inner, do some center, whatever feels good. Okay. And then set that ball off to the side. I think my therapy ball has reached the end of its life. It's healing its outer layer. All right, other side. So we start again right in the center and we lean into the ball and push. Right up the midline of the foot. If you find anything particularly interesting, you can always pause. And then moving to the little toe, striping along that outer arch. And moving to the inner arch, behind the big toe. And then we place the heel on the mat. The ball is in the front center, right between the ball, the foot, and the arch, and you just step up into it. Supporting with the right foot, drape the left foot over top. And then we move the ball to the back of the foot, right between the arch and the heel, and step up into that again. Ooh. And then backing out of that, rolling up and down the foot a couple times at your discretion. All right, so we're actually going to stay standing for a moment because I want to do a little bit of shoulder blade work standing, although I'm going to run and grab a new ball because that one is dying. All right, so yeah, when they start to disintegrate on the outer edge, they kind of pill like an old sweater. Then you definitely want to go make sure you get new ones. So you can put your socks back on if you want. And you want to get a little bit of flesh available to you in the upper body. So you don't have to, go right down to your skin, but you got a big sweater or a big sweatshirt like I do, you're going to want to take that off. And we're going to find a wall or some type of upright surface. And we're going to be working the tissue on top of your shoulder blade. So you're going to reach back. You can reach far enough back to reach the inner edge of your shoulder blade. And you can feel down that edge. It comes down to a point. You can feel up. And then you can pull outwards. And it's kind of a diagonal that comes down into that point. So we are going to, if you palpate, you'll feel like a fleshy bit that's more fleshy. So if you get the spine, the inner spine of the scapula, and then drag across, you'll come into like a fleshy bit. That's the very Latin anatomical term for that muscle. You're going to put the ball in the fleshy bit. And then you are going to lean yourself into a wall. Soft knees, okay? So be kind to your low back, a little bit of a knee bend here. And then you are just going to free form this. Move around, find a tender spot, and then start to move the shoulders. So you move your whole body to find the tender spot, and then you use your shoulder muscles to move just that shoulder around. Really let the arm relax, and you will find super tender areas that will send shock waves down your arm. And when you find those areas, pause. Take a deep breath. And after 30 seconds or so, once that discomfort dissipates somewhat, you can move around and find a new spot. There'll be plenty of them. And when you do find one of those spots, move your head around a little bit as well, because you might find a deepening action happening. Ooh. Go and search for one more point. Good. And then release yourself from that and just stand for a moment. Ooh. Do a couple shoulder rolls up and back. Okay, then we're gonna work the same shoulder. So we got our deltoid muscle that kind of wraps around the head of the arm bone like a ice cream on top of an ice cream cone. So you're going to find right down the side seam of the arm. If you come forward, you'll find there's a little indentation. So this is, if you were to externally rotate the arm, where the top of the bicep is. So we're gonna put it in there and then lean into the wall again. And the amount that you press yourself in is the amount of sensation that you're going to get. So you can adjust that. You want to just push in until you get a good sensation. And then little tiny circles. So you're just kind of rolling the shoulder around. And you're going to rotate yourself a little more forward, away from your face, away from the walls. You find another little spot and then roll that shoulder around there as well. So again, you press, you find a tender spot, and then if you'd like, you roll around, or you just hold in that tender spot and breathe. Good. And if you're just joining us, you're going to want your therapy balls and a block. So from there, you're going to just roll that ball up a little bit towards the shoulder. And again, press. Ooh. And you can hold or do little micro movements. And then you're gonna roll a little more away from the wall. So now you're kind of a little more towards the back body. Find yourself a nice little tender spot. And again, either pause or micro movements. And backing out from there. Again, just stand for a moment. Bring some shoulder rolls in. Notice the difference between the two sides. And then bring a big arm rotation up and back through that arm that you just worked. And you're probably getting some crunchies through your shoulder blade. So just gonna make note of where those crunchies are, because we'll use the therapy balls in a moment there. Okay, so again, you always want to swap balls so that you wear them evenly. We're going to come around to the other side. So again, we reach back for that shoulder blade. We find the inner edge and we drag the fingers across. We find the fleshy bit, place the ball in the fleshy bit, and then bring the ball up against a wall. Soft knees to protect the low back. And then kind of move yourself around. Find a spot. If you've got your spot, you can roll that shoulder around, little micro movements, or just pause and breathe. Looking around for spots. Look for one more spot. And then moving away from the wall, just standing for a moment, letting that shoulder hang. Some shoulder rolls. And then we find the delt, so right at the edge of the delt where it meets the lower arm, right in the center, and then externally rotates, you come across to where the delt and the bicep meet, coming right in there, bringing yourself into the wall, and you provide however much compression you want here. Moving around a little bit, looking for a tender spot. And again, this might shoot down the arm. And leaning out, you're going to reposition the ball right in the center. Lean in. This one is particularly good once you find a hot spot to move your head around, because it will definitely pull and change the stretch and the sensation. And rolling the ball up about one ball width and leaning in again. And micro movements, just finding the areas where you get sensation. Then you're gonna roll towards the back a little bit. Turn yourself away, and again, look for a tender spot. Releasing, standing tall for a moment, breathing. And coming into a shoulder roll. And then nice big arm circles up and back. And again, notice where you're feeling crunchies in that shoulder blade. All right. And then we're going to come down onto the mat with both of the therapy balls, and we're going to place them right between the shoulder blades in the spots where we felt the crunchies. So they're right next to each other on either side of the spine. You find that spot, take the hands behind the head, and then drop the head and the head back and the elbows out. And just soften your belly, soften your low back. And then you're going to flap the elbows up and in towards each other to widen the shoulder blades a bit. And that's going to create more surface area for the therapy balls to rest into. And then let the elbows drop out. Make sure that you're breathing. Relax your jaw, relax your eyes. Try to bring more softness into your rib cage. So imagine that each and every rib is softening, the space between the ribs is relaxing. And you're going to bring the elbow points up towards the sky again. Tuck your chin, looking towards your hips. And right where the therapy balls are, you want to think that that's a little fulcrum point. And everything from the balls down is stationary. And we want to bend right where the therapy balls are. So we're just rotating from the therapy balls up to the right. And back through center. Over to the left. And back through center. And just go back and forth. If you find something really interesting, you can pause and breathe into it. And one more on each side. And we'll come back center. Drop the head back and the elbows out again. And gently lowering the head to the mat. You're going to take the hands up towards the sky. Cross one arm in front of the other. And then wrap the arms around the shoulders. So give yourself a little hug. And you can stay right here. If you want to bring movement into this, you just gently rock side to side. Really focusing on your exhale here and just softening the places where you're feeling the most sensation. Reach the arms back up to the sky and then swap the order. So whatever arm is in front goes in back. Drape the arms again. Give yourself a hug. And you can either hold still here or gently rock side to side. Unwind the arms, reach them to the sky, and then drop them straight back behind you. Bending the elbows again, take the hands behind the head, pick the head up. Look towards the hips, really try to press the spine that's just below the therapy balls, press that down towards the mat. You might get a little adjustment. And then you're just going to roll to one side, remove them from under you, and then flat on your back for a moment. Just enjoy that sensation. We're going to roll up and grab your block. Put the block at the end of your mat. Therapy balls are going to go right in your occiput. So if you palpate the scalp and you come down the skull, you'll find a little ridge right at the base of the skull. This is your occiput. The therapy balls are going to go right in there. And you are going to relax onto your back and rest the balls on the block. Now, if you've never done this before, it might take a few minutes to really find your sweet spot, right where they fit perfectly. Once you do find that spot, though, you'll just always find it again. And pretty much right away, you'll feel a really deep breath happen as we press into all of those beautiful acupressure points back there. You'll feel the breath slow. You'll definitely get a little droopy-eyed. And typically, I find that no matter how much sensitivity there is, there's always a calm that comes over the body in this position. Really relaxing your jaw, your tongue, the whole face. And you are welcome to stay right here if you'd like. If you'd like to bring some movement into this, you're going to imagine the tip of your nose being in the very center of a watch face. So small, it's not big. And you're just going to move your nose from the center of the watch face up to the 12. So like a centimeter. And then back down. And then drop it down to the 6. Again, that's just about a centimeter. And back center. So we're just going to move up to the 12, down through center, to the 6. And if you haven't already, close your eyes for this, because otherwise the eyes want to do all the work. They want to look up and look down. Just close the eyes and allow sensation to take over. You're going to make your way back to the center position, so neutral. And we're going to move between the 3 and the 9 in the same manner. So we're just going a centimeter to one side and back center, a centimeter to the other. And having the eyes closed so that the eyes aren't doing the work and that you can really feel into the sensation here. And gently coming back to neutral. We'll take a couple more deep breaths here. And if this feels like a place that you really want to stay, you're welcome to take your whole Shavasana here. If it feels like you're ready to come out of it, before you head into Shavasana, before you get all your stuff situated, I want you just to set the head down and take a couple breaths and just allow everything to kind of realign. And from here, you can go ahead and move into Shavasana, whatever variation that looks like to you today. Make sure you're warm enough. Taking a couple deep breaths as you get settled in through your nose, out through your mouth. Relax your jaw, your tongue, your forehead. Deepening your breath. Begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes, arms and legs. Taking the arms up past your head for a long stretch. Bend your knees, feet to the floor.
Rolling over onto your side. Pressing yourself up as seated. Closing your eyes, relaxing your shoulders away from your ears. Bring your awareness into your breath. Just noticing the sensations in your body right now. The beautiful thing about this therapy ball practice is that it really dumps a bunch of calming hormones into your body. So you have this sense of kind of euphoria, very calm, very relaxed, sleepy. It's a great practice to do before bed or any time when you feel like you've got a lot of intensity going on in your life. Thank you so much for rolling with me tonight. Namaste.